Wyoming, a place where the wind never stops, the stars seem close enough to touch, and secrets hide in the shadows of endless mountains. We go through why would anyone choose to live here, in one of the most remote corners of America. The answers are stranger, deeper, and more surprising than you think. From ghost towns frozen in time to landscapes that feel like another planet, Wyoming will challenge everything you thought you knew about small-town life. But before we start, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. We're pulling back the curtain, and you won't want to miss what's coming next. Now let's dive in. Wyoming is the second least populous state in the U.S., with just under 580,000 residents spread across nearly 98,000 square miles. That works out to about 6 people per square mile, compared to the national average of over 93. For some, this isn't isolation, it's freedom. Fewer people means less traffic, less noise, and more room to breathe, literally. On a clear day, you can drive for miles without seeing another car. Many residents say this emptiness is a feature, not a flaw, offering a daily reminder that the world doesn't have to feel crowded. There's a certain peace in knowing your closest neighbor might be a mile away. And for those tired of city congestion, Wyoming offers an antidote. Endless horizons, star-filled skies without light pollution, and a kind of personal space that's almost impossible to find elsewhere in America. Wyoming consistently ranks as one of the most affordable states in America when it comes to overall cost of living. Housing prices are significantly lower than the national average, with a median home value of about $150,000 compared to the U.S. median of $425,000. Rent follows the same pattern, especially in smaller towns where monthly costs can be hundreds less than in most states. But the biggest draw is the tax situation. Wyoming has no state income tax, among the lowest property taxes in the nation, and a modest sales tax. According to Kiplinger's tax rankings, it's one of the top 10 most tax-friendly states for retirees and working families alike. For many residents, these savings aren't just about having more money in the bank. They translate into a higher quality of life, with the ability to own more land, invest in hobbies, or simply enjoy a slower-paced lifestyle without financial stress. While Wyoming's population is small, its economy is impressively resilient. Energy production, coal, natural gas, and oil, remains a major employer, generating billions in revenue each year. Tourism is another powerhouse, bringing in about $3.8 billion annually as visitors flock to Yellowstone, Grand Teton, and national monuments. Agriculture, though smaller than in decades past, still plays a key role, especially cattle ranching and hay production. Median household income hovers between $62,000 and $70,000, which is competitive nationally, especially when adjusted for the lower cost of living. Unemployment typically trends below the U.S. average, and Wyoming consistently ranks among the best states for business friendliness due to its low regulatory burden. This combination of natural resource wealth, visitor spending, and agricultural output provides a stable foundation that helps communities remain economically viable, even in rural areas, offering locals dependable opportunities close to home. Wyoming is basically one giant playground for outdoor lovers. With nearly half the state classified as public land, including national parks, forests, and Bureau of Land Management areas, opportunities for adventure are endless. Yellowstone and Grand Teton alone attract millions each year for hiking, fishing, camping, and wildlife watching. Hunters and anglers enjoy access to vast game populations, from elk and pronghorn to trout-filled rivers. Winter doesn't slow things down. Ski resorts like Jackson Hole and Snowy Range draw both tourists and locals for world-class downhill runs and backcountry powder. The state's low population density means trails, campsites, and lakes are rarely overcrowded. For residents, this level of access isn't a special trip, it's a normal weekend. Many Wyomingites choose to live here precisely because they can finish work on a Friday and be standing on a mountaintop or fly fishing in a pristine stream before dinner. All right, I've got to hear from you on this. Are any of these reasons making you reconsider what you think about Wyoming? Could you see yourself trading the chaos of the city for the silence of the plains? Drop your thoughts in the comments because your perspective might even make it into a future video. And while you're there, tell me what other places, states, or even forgotten towns you'd like us to uncover next. I read every comment, and your ideas shape what we explore. And if you haven't already, hit like and subscribe right now, because the next stop on our journey might just be the place you suggest. In Wyoming, small-town living isn't a romanticized idea. It's a way of life. Most towns have populations under 10,000, and even in larger cities like Cheyenne or Casper, there's a familiarity that's hard to find elsewhere. People greet each other by name at the grocery store. Neighbors check in during storms or lend a hand with big projects. Civic events, from county fairs to rodeos, are community anchors, bringing everyone together regardless of background. Crime rates are generally lower than the national average, especially in rural areas, which adds to a sense of safety and trust. This culture of connection appeals to those who value genuine relationships over anonymity. In many parts of Wyoming, it's still common to leave your doors unlocked, wave at passing cars, or have multi-generational family gatherings just a short drive away. The slower pace fosters friendships that feel more like extended family bonds. For those escaping urban smog, Wyoming's air quality can feel like a breath of fresh life, literally. The state has some of the cleanest air in the U.S. thanks to its low population density and minimal industrial congestion outside of energy production hubs. With vast open spaces and minimal light pollution, the night skies here are spectacular. Stargazing is almost effortless, and residents can often see the Milky Way without special equipment. Outdoor activities benefit from this purity, making hiking, camping, and even daily walks more enjoyable. Water quality is also generally high, especially in mountain-fed streams and rural wells. While the state faces occasional challenges from wildfire smoke drifting in from other regions, these are seasonal and short-lived. Many residents choose Wyoming for this environmental clarity, knowing that the simple act of stepping outside means breathing some of the cleanest, crispest air in the country. Wyoming wears its heritage proudly. Known as the Cowboy State, it's home to rodeos, ranching traditions, and a deep respect for the land. Events like Cheyenne Frontier Days, the world's largest outdoor rodeo, draw hundreds of thousands annually, celebrating skills and customs that have been passed down for generations. Historical sites from the Oregon Trail to old mining towns remind residents of Wyoming's frontier past. This culture isn't just for show. Many locals still work in ranching, horsemanship, or other land-based trades. There's also a strong ethos of independence and self-reliance, paired with a sense of personal responsibility toward neighbors and community. For people who value tradition, authenticity, and a way of life that hasn't been swallowed by modern homogenization, Wyoming offers a cultural richness that's hard to find elsewhere. It's a place where history isn't locked in museums, it's alive in daily routines. In Wyoming, freedom is more than a political talking point. It's an everyday reality. With wide-open land, minimal government intrusion, and a culture that prizes self-sufficiency, residents enjoy a lifestyle that allows them to set their own pace. Property owners often have more flexibility for land use, from keeping livestock to building workshops without layers of red tape. Gun ownership is widespread and culturally ingrained, tied to hunting traditions and personal protection. The state also consistently ranks among those with the fewest restrictive laws in areas like business regulation and personal activities. For many, the sheer physical space, being able to walk out the door and see nothing but hills, mountains, or prairie, feels like the ultimate expression of independence. Whether it's privacy, land ownership, or simply not being told how to live, Wyoming offers a sense of personal autonomy that's increasingly rare in more crowded states. In a world where most places are racing toward sameness, Wyoming stands stubbornly apart, raw, untamed, and unapologetic. The people who choose to stay here aren't just living in a state, they're living in a statement. Maybe it's the land, maybe it's the freedom, maybe it's something you can't measure in numbers at all. But one thing's for sure, Wyoming's not for everyone, and that's exactly why it matters. If you've been intrigued, surprised, or maybe even inspired, make sure to like, subscribe, and share this with someone who needs to see a different side of America. Because the next story we tell might be about a place you've never heard of, but will never forget.